Hey guys, it's Kevin. Welcome to MCDC Wars, the channel about Star Wars, the DCEU, and the MCU. We're talking about episode 3 of Moon Knight. So, the show opens up with Marc Spector's former girlfriend getting a passport to go chase him down in Egypt, like angry girlfriends do. That happens. And there's some awesome effects in this because Mark, like we saw in the last episode, keeps jumping back and forth between Steven, but it's like reversed. The first episode, Steven keeps turning into Mark. Now Mark keeps turning into Steven. And it actually makes for some interesting scenes. And you're seeing a lot more of the two of them jump back and forth and interact. I really just enjoy these effects throughout the show. But what is revealed, and I called it in the last episode, that there may be a third personality, and they're showing hints of it now. And Steven and Mark don't know who he is, and he's a lot more violent. And that seems to be suspect in this episode. So, Mark has a big conversation with Khonshu where they have to go find what Arthur Harrow is up to find that tomb. And it's pretty... I love how Khonshu looks in the daylight. It's actually really awesome effects. That's why I put it in the thumbnail. So, Khonshu summons all the other gods by turning the sky, and you get to see all the avatars of different gods. And Oscar Isaac's performance of just playing multiple characters is actually really cool. It comes a long way from like Poe Dameron. I mean, I haven't seen a lot of his different work. That's all I can remember from his Star Wars. But like to see him be Mark, to see him be Khonshu, to see him be Steven is actually really impressive. And we're only halfway through the season, and then God only knows how long his contract is. So we're probably going to see a lot more of this stuff in the future. So he talks to the gods. Essentially, they say that Arthur Harrow hasn't done anything wrong and that Marc Spector is crazy. So they have to find another way. Another god helps them, and Mark and his wife go through Egypt to find a dealer who may have a clue to what they're looking for. Unfortunately, the actor that plays this villain did pass away in real life, so I don't know if we're going to see him anymore in the MCU. Rest in peace. But he had a great performance in the show. And the show carries on to where Mark and Steven are trying to communicate and share the body, where they can actually figure out what this puzzle is in the tomb. And then Arthur Harrow shows up, and he seems to just pop up everywhere in the show. Like literally, he was like this mystical character. Now he's just everywhere. And we finally get to see what we've seen in all the promos, the infamous jump from that top of that pyramid, and then fighting in this little corral where the horses are. It's actually a pretty good action scene. You see a lot of what Moon Knight can do, but in the middle of it, Steven keeps taking the body back over, and he's going from this ancient warrior uniform to the Mr. Knight character. Pretty funny, like switching back and forth. And this is probably my favorite scene.
Let's all just like chill the F out and talk for a second. Take the body off.
It's clear that Steven is the compassionate side, if you haven't figured that out yet. But he's just like, he just can't take all the violence or whatnot. And that's where Mark just takes over. And it's hilarious. I know I love these movies for the action, but really I love these movies for the story and the humor. That's probably my favorite part of the MCU. And like to compare this to like the DC universe, I like those stories, but I like the darker humor, almost like the Deadpool kind of stuff that they're doing with that, or like the Batman, that darker kind of genre. But the stories and the humor are really what get me in the MCU. Now, what I like about this scene is Steven finally gets his time to shine, other than just being kind of the idiot or whatnot, or which Khonshu thinks of him. But they have to summon him, use his intelligence to figure out where the map is, and then he has to turn back the stars. But to do this, he's actually sacrificing himself because he knows that all the gods are going to turn him to stone. But it's a really cool scene here. Maybe someday I'll do some sort of edit with disco music over it, because it's actually hilarious. If you just the thoughts that go through my head when I see this kind of stuff. But the effects are great. I love the Mr. Knight character. Unfortunately, at this point, we see that Khonshu gets turned into stone as the gods form around him and essentially take the power back. So I don't know how Mark is going to take the power back, but obviously this is going to play out, man. He's not here for just one season, but it's very interesting. Arthur Harrow's character it seems to have won the day at the end of this, but there's more to come. Make sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video.